right. We are back here. It's Song of the Day coming to you from the Rock Cave. I'm your host, Mark Pierce, with none other than Paul Chabot for the second time on the show ever.
Second.
Yeah,
sure.
Right?
It's quite a few times.
Yeah, we got a lot of people in the cave this week, so I don't know the order yet of what's being released, but we've got you, we've got Michael, and we've got Frank.
All right.
So people are going to be treated with maybe some longer episodes. We'll see.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
But we are trying to do this one relatively quick.
We always try.
Because we cut down our list a little bit, and we'll see if that works.
Okay, so we were trying to figure out what kind of topics, and I don't know how we came upon this.
Because I pinged you in the car driving. I don't text and drive, really. But I pinged you and said, hey, is this the best live album out there? You know, or is this the best live album? And then you were like, oh, wait a minute, it should be this. And I said, we got to do an episode on live albums then, you know.
All right, and I was
like 2 months ago, I think.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, that's fair because, first of all, a topic we haven't covered here in the Rock Cave, and not too many live albums make it on an episode. Mm-hmm. And I thought it would be interesting because, frankly, I don't usually care about live albums. And as a teenager and in college, I did not understand the purpose of a live record. Album, right. And I was like, why would anyone buy a live album? They're terrible.
They never sound as good.
Yeah.
You're expecting the studio.
Crowd in the background.
That was when we were young.
I just, for a really long time, I was like, nope. But then one live album came out and changed my mind.
All right.
And so then we decided, what? We decided 5. We're each going to do 5.
Trying to spare you guys. Instead of the 10 each, 5 each.
Yeah. And we don't know what's on each other's list.
Correct.
And you brought records.
I brought some stuff. Yeah.
Yes, right. I don't have that for you. And then we'll talk about odds and ends after that.
Sure.
Maybe what got left off, what the critics say are the live ones that you should listen to.
All right.
Stuff like that.
I love it.
Yeah.
So first thing I wanted to do, define, to me, what makes a live album. Because these are not the best live albums out there by all the critics. And I'm sure there's other, some good, better musically. But for me, at least, live album adds to the music from the studio, right? Like the guitar solos are better. There's something else that they've done to the music, to me, to make it sound better. It's okay, this is me.
So wait, okay. All right. I have something to say about that.
Okay.
Later?
All right.
So I took one off my list because I read today that they added things in the studio afterwards.
Oh, no. What I mean is, on stage, they did something different and added to the music.
Oh, okay.
That's what I mean.
All right.
And that makes sense as I talk some of those.
All right.
I think it created an experience beyond the music, right? So part of that's being there in visual, but you should be able to hear that, right, in the music. And I think it has to be a good flow. I just don't want to hear a bunch of live songs kind of put together that was from an album. I want to hear a cohesive show. So for me, that's where we get my albums from.
Right.
If that makes sense.
And so that's why I don't like lists of best live albums ever, because if you're not a fan of the artist, then you don't care.
Right.
I tried. I listened to some of these things today on the list, and I was like, I mean, if I don't like the band's studio albums, why am I going to like their live album? And chances are it's from, when I'm looking, they're from the 1970s, and they don't always have the great quality that we're used to. Anyway, we can talk about all that, but I'm just saying.
So we're just going in saying, here's some of the top albums that we don't like?
No. I'm saying I suspect the reason why our list will probably be different is because you're going to pick live albums from bands that you love, whether or not it was a critically acclaimed live album. So
yes.
So if
it was something,
if these guys have a live album that's kick ass in your mind because you saw the show, then you'd be like, dude, this is the best live album I've ever heard. I can just hear the flames coming out of people's ears. It's amazing. And so, but I'm not going to find that in the top 100 live. You see what I'm saying? So
I do.
What's interesting about
this. I do, yes. So there's something personal about it. 100%, yes. Right. And there's some on this list.
Yes.
That you're going to freak out when you see some of these. I can't wait to get to them.
Okay, so we've already about 8. We've been talking for 8.
I know. There's no way it's under 20. But
okay, so how are we doing this? Back and forth?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right. So you want to start?
Yeah. I do.
Go.
Okay.
All right.
So I get
all right.
Little reveal. The first one,
Live After Death.
from Iron Maiden.
Yep.
Okay, this
Iron
was
Maiden.
1984.
All right. So the
Okay.
peak of,
Look at this. This is like a spectacle of the concert. To your point, the concert was great. So how was the actual
did you
album?
see that? Did you see them in the 80s?
No, I did not.
Okay.
I didn't- so for me, I was sitting around listening to this, and you can see all the pictures and stuff. The music, like, looking at this music, you feel like you were there.
Okay,
And
so-
this is before Iron Maiden was getting any airplay.
Yep.
So this is Long Beach Arena,
Long Beach. Yep.
kind of filled out, and
Double album live. So
amazing. So
for it.
it's kind of like a rock opera.
Okay.
You know, so I really love this one, and I'd love to. I'm sitting here forever just watching this one. So there you go, first one.
Oh, now are we picking a song off of each album? Did you do that?
No.
Oh, you told me to do that, so I did.
Oh, you did.
All right.
Did I tell you?
You did. You said it.
Hallowed Be Thy Name is awesome.
Okay. All right. All right. I have to start with the first live album that I ever bought, that I ever loved, and it's true to this day. And we've covered it maybe ad nauseum for some of you people, but. We are talking about Talking Heads, Stop Making Sense, of course.
Of course you are.
Naturally.
Yes.
I mean, unbelievable record. I saw the film first in the theater, so there's that. It's like so there was that experience. I didn't see the concert, but I saw the film. This came out in 1984. It was, I think it was in California. But anyway. Just amazing, and the songs are very different than the studio tracks, especially some of the ones that I wasn't familiar with from the Burning Down the House album from Speaking in Tongues, and so I prefer those versions than the studio versions. So Burning Down the House live on here, amazing. I mean, great. And so I had a hard time picking a favorite song out of there because I thought that was my assignment, and I had Burning Down the House or This Must Be the Place.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome.
So that's it for me.
I need that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
What you got
Here's
next?
what I don't have a.
What do you got next?
I don't have a prop for
Big
this one.
cat. Come on.
You ready?
Yep.
1987. Hank Williams Jr. Hank Live. Okay, so why do I love this album?
I got it. Yeah.
Because my great friend of mine, Matt Nelson, played this on our trips from Mansfield to Manchester for going to East Catholic High School.
You're in high
listen-
school.
Huh?
87.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
this,
you're in high school.
and it was just great. I wasn't even into this music, but there's awesome sing-alongs. The crowd is so into it. Country Boy Can Survive. There's the song. It was just great. Like, yeah, my huge Hank Williams. No, but this album again, personally, was I listened to it all the time in the car. We would sing along. It's just a lot of fun, and that's a good experience. So that's
So
why I
it's
put it.
nostalgic for you.
100%. Again, not going to be on any professional
Right.
list of great
All
live
right,
albums,
that's
but
fair.
there you go.
That's all right. All right, next one for me. Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Live Bullet
Yes.
from 1976. Do you know this record?
I don't know the record. These are some songs on, obviously,
Okay.
that are always.
So
on the radio.
this was probably the second live cassette I ever bought because when I was a dishwasher at a restaurant in high school, the cook would play that live album, and this was a big deal because they were touring they were doing 300 shows a year. This is the mid '70s. They had perfected their live shows. They go back and they play in Detroit, where they're
Right.
from, and it's just an amazing record. And all their songs so good, and it is a performance, and the key track is actually 2 tracks because the song Traveling Man, awesome live, and it just segues right in with no change into Beautiful Loser. Perfect.
These are your two. So for me, this was an
And then-
honorable mention, and I was going for Catmandu and Turn the Page. as
So
the
I was going to mention that Turn the Pages, that's where they got that from, where it's like, party! That line, right? So that's where that's from. So that would be the way song to say that would be key from that record.
All right.
So, there you go.
All right. Not a bit surprised to me that is a whole
Yep.
album that you're into. All right.
Yep.
The next one. It's a reveal, folks.
Oh,
Okay,
people love a good reveal.
This is great. I'm so excited.
I don't even know. There are people in the crowd. I know who you are. There's 2 people in the crowd. They're going to be
Ann!
like, what?
Ann's going to love this one.
And Frank's wife, Diane.
Okay. So
what? Do I even know you?
Yeah. So
what is going on here? Why are you smiling so much?
I love this. 1978. So I'm 7 or 8 years old or something. My parents are playing this all the time, and it is just fantastic.
I've never even seen that record before.
Oh my god! So then they have like 2 awesome segments. It's called a very special medley or something like that. It's commercial medley with like Pepsi, McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like they took
does he write
the
all
commercials.
Did he write
Do you
all
write those
those?
songs? Huh? Do you write songs? Oh, that was a joke.
I think he wrote commercials. Didn't he? Anyway, go ahead.
And then they also did Jump Shout Boogie, which is great. It sounds like there's an orchestra on stage. But again, this is like a great time.
Is Copacabana on there?
It's right before it. So no, Copacabana's not on it. And that's why it's impressive that I can still like it.
Wow.
Come on, this blue suit and the whole thing. All right, I expect you to comment on this one.
Yeah,
all right.
that's right.
There you go.
All right, so I don't know if you're gonna. This might be a surprise for you.
All right.
All right, we're going back to 1966. Frank Sinatra at the Sands.
Love it.
Big deal. This is an amazing record. He's with Count Basie and his orchestra.
Awesome.
And it was arranged. The arrangements were done by, what did I figure that out? Quincy Jones. And anyway, this is a big deal. It charted. And the first song I ever heard from this live album was Luck Be a Lady, which is an amazing performance.
Sure.
And this whole record, just awesome. Count Basie, and right, 1966, just awesome.
I'll have to check it out because I listen to a lot of Sinatra,
Yeah.
you know, but some studio, some live. I don't know if it's that particular album that the stuff is from, but yeah, I'll check it out.
Yes, I think it's his first live record. I'm not sure, but anyway.
Okay.
The Sands in Vegas. Awesome.
That's great. All right,
right.
moving right along.
What you got?
Next reveal. Okay, a little bit back more to what you guys would think. All right. Speak of the Devil,
Okay,
Ozzy.
all right.
Now,
He's got some jelly in his mouth, yeah.
yeah, fantastic. You guys can all see that. And then this is always a good look. So this was an interesting album in the sense that at the time that I listened to it, I did not know these were Black Sabbath songs. So I'm listening to this going, oh, this is really interesting. Ozzy's doing this thing called Snowblind. And isn't Black Sabbath a band? I'm surprised he's playing this. I had no clue when I was first listening to this.
Wait, what year did that come out?
82? 82. So this is when he had broken up from the band, and they were...
That was Blizzard of Oz wasn't out yet?
Blizzard was out.
And there's nothing from Blizzard on here.
No,
It's
because this is...
all Sabbath.
It was a whole thing where, like, they had to do an album for Jet or one of these other things or something. And then Black Sabbath was doing the same thing, and he was mad that they were doing a live album or something without him, and also a whole thing. So he put this together. The best thing about...
Evil?
Yes. Live Evil came out. It was a race to who could do the first
Ronnie
one.
James Dio.
Correct.
So is that... Who's playing guitar on this record?
That's a good question. I know Rudy's on this as a bass. Yeah. Brad Gillis, I guess.
Okay.
And there's a whole thing I read, and I'm going to get the details wrong, but like Sharon was trying desperately to keep these guys together. Ozzy wouldn't practice any of the songs. The guys were like trying to figure it all out on their own, and then they went on stage together. And
And the record's good?
I think it's actually quite good.
Okay.
And
All right.
obviously didn't see it or anything like that. It wasn't a tour. It was just a night that they did it.
Contractual obligation.
A funny thing from this, though, there's a part in this when he goes, everybody remember the old Phil Maurice. The old Phil Maurice. And that's always, I'm like, I've never seen this movie, Maurice, right?
Okay.
It's not. It's the old Fillmore East.
Oh.
I just picked that up a couple years ago.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh. All right.
Whatever. So there you go.
All right. That's good. All right. So my list changed a lot in the last few days because I thought I had it and then I didn't have it because this one just came to me.
All right.
We're talking, and there's like an asterisk on this one, but Pink Floyd's The Wall, Is There Anyone Out There? Is there anybody out there? So
Okay.
what had happened was...
I sort of forgot all about that one.
Yeah. So they did do a live album for that tour, filmed in LA, in Long Beach and the Forum, and it was never released until the year 2000.
Right.
That's when it came out as a box set, and it's amazing. And and it was only available. It wasn't available on streaming anywhere until 2024. Apple.
I was gonna say I didn't even know it was available. I've totally forgotten about this album completely.
Yeah, so I went back and listened to it.
Yeah, is it any good?
And it is amazing. It is very good. So if you like, first of all, it's got all the stuff that's in the movie that you could never had on the record, even though they fixed that in other later releases. But some of the songs from the movie didn't make the soundtrack.
Right.
They do it all.
Okay.
And it is top form Gilmore Waters. Amazing. Worth the listen.
Okay.
Check it out.
I will check it out.
And if I had to pick a song off there, it's Young Lust is amazing live.
So I had, of course, the honorable mention, Pulse.
Oh, there you go.
Not a choice,
Yeah.
but like definitely have that. Or
And Delicate would be on my list. Of
which are almost the same thing.
honorable mentions. Yep.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. I can't wait to. I'm gonna go listen to it. I forgot
Yeah.
all about it. All right, my last one.
Yeah.
What did I get?
Yeah.
Nope, that's not it. Here we go. S&M Metallica. Okay, so this is great, and it's great because of Michael Kamen, right?
Those people who don't know, it's symphonic Metallica.
Correct. Yeah, S&M is yeah. It's a little play on words, right? But they did with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. It was a 2-night deal, and people who had season tickets to the orchestra would show up, and they didn't know really necessarily what Metallica was. So you have the video has a bunch of older folks, and they're just kind of sitting there, and then there's a bunch of crazy rock people that have like the T-shirt with it looks like a tux and all kind of crap. And the first couple songs, you're like, okay, they're doing Call to Cthulhu and some of the things. It's like 9 minutes into that, and you're like, oh my gosh, is this really just going to be an orchestral thing?
Yeah.
And they jump right from there into Master of Puppets, and that transition into Master is so good. And I listened to Master again just recently, and I was like, there are parts of Master when I hear it without the orchestra, I'm like, it's missing. Like, I'm so used to the orchestral. It's so full, everything that Kamen did. As Michael Kamen, by the way, was a director and composer, and he's involved with lots of rock bands, including Pink Floyd, Tom Petty, Aerosmith, Kiss, Roger Daltrey, Queensryche, Rush, Def Leppard, Herbie Hancock. Trust me, I can keep on reading, but for the time I won't. He's just been amazing. Unfortunately, died at 55. But love this show.
All right, calls into S&M. Awesome. So
you do something.
You learned it here first, people. That's a good one.
Thanks.
All right, my last one is it moved around. Okay, so we're gonna kind of have to figure this out here and see. But my last one is a late ad because of what I mentioned earlier. So what took over at number 5 is Jay Giles' "Blow Your Face Out" from 1975.
Okay.
Recorded just before and just after my 7th birthday. So there I was in the crowd. No, but "Blow Your Face Out." If you can forget about Jay Giles. They were a party band. They were a live band that just were pretty incredible in the 70s to see them play. And it is a show with his stories. But this is the one that has "Must Have Got Lost,"
Right.
"Woman with the Green Teeth," and "Let Down Your Hair," "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, Reputa. That's where this comes from.
All right.
And the live version. And there's just so many great songs on here, and you get the idea of just this is them in their heyday of just how good they were of a live band. And if I could pick a band in the 70s to see, Jay Giles would be on my list.
Okay, that's great. I was this close to seeing him in the early 80s when they came to UConn just before Freeze Frame came out. They were not yet big enough.
Right.
And they were playing at like, student unit at the field house or something ridiculous. But did you see that show?
I think that sounds familiar. Well, I was there then. Oh, it's possible. Well, no, that went too early for that. Anyway, doesn't matter.
Moving on.
All right, so those are 5 and 5, and then so stuff that could have made the list or whatever you want. We want to talk about. My coulda shouldas were Johnny Cash live from Folsom Prison because
nice
Folsom Prison Blues. Right off the bat, all you hear is "Hi, I'm Johnny Cash," and then "I shot a man in Reno," and they're all like, "Yeah." So there's that one, and then the one that I had to take off the list was Dream Theater live at the Marquee, which I've shared with you
before,
their first live album, and their song "Pull Me Under" on here. First of all, you can't believe it's live when you're playing it. The song "Pull Me Under" and also "Another Hand," "Killing Hand" kind of goes in. They actually made 2 instrumental bridge songs just for their live shows that are amazing.
Okay.
And there's a song on there that they have only played 6 times live. It's instrumental. It's called "Bombay Vindaloo," and it's they only did it 6 times live, and it's not on any studio recording. So this one was clearly on my list, and when I was reading about it today to get some fun facts, it said they went back in the studio and they recorded his vocals in the studio.
And
They
overdubbed it
live.
basically. That's the live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, maybe that's why I was so amazed that it was live. So I mean, I read it in one place, so I would have to go back and see. But if that's the case, I had to drop it off my list. But it's still amazing.
I think they did something like that for "Speak of the Devil" too, because remember I told you Ozzy wouldn't join up or whatever.
Yeah.
I think they like recorded some sound check stuff and they put that on there, and then they threw some of the crowd noise in there or something like that. So that was to your point, that was disappointing. All right, my honorable mentions. I have Neil Young, Live Rust.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not definitely a huge Neil Young fan, but when you start going down this list, Sugar Mountain, I'm a Child, Comes a Time, Cortez the Killer, Cinnamon Girl, Like a Hurricane. There's just amazing songs on here, and again, it's definitely live. The rain's coming down and the whole 9 yards. Judas Priest live. This is not necessarily an awesome album, but the transition between the last 2 songs, "Living After Midnight" and "You Got Another Thing Coming," do yourself a favor, listen to that. Scorpions Worldwide Live. This was a really good one. I mean, this is 2 albums, or 4 sides.
Yeah.
I mean, after we're done, you'll read
That's
every single song on it. It's unbelievable. And of course, Pink Floyd, you can go Roger Waters, The Wall, you can do In the Flesh, which we haven't talked about, but amazing show. And that's it. I'm out.
All right, we're going to be like 20 minutes or so, but I have to say, the ones that came up on lists that I looked at, Grateful Dead, Live Dead, 1969. A lot of things
72
around
in Europe.
A lot of things around 1972 came up in the list. Hendrix Band of Gypsies apparently has a 12-minute version of Machine Gun. The Stones, Get Your Ya-Ya's Out, which I did own, from 1970. The Who Live at Leeds, 1970.
Yeah, that comes up all the time.
Woodstock, which I don't think was a great live album, but there's some great spots there. Grand Funk in 1970. Grand Funk was a really big deal. They sold millions of records. They played stadiums, apparently a big deal. Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Four-Way Street. That one is pretty amazing from 1971. Okay. These are all 71. Allman Brothers live at the Fillmore. Apparently that is
Fillmore East?
Yep, Fillmore East, 1971. What did you say?
The Film Maurice.
The film Maurice. At the Film Maurice, that's what launched their career. The people heard that live for the first time, and they were like, oh, we get what these guys are doing, and that's what launched them. But Rolling Stone had the #1 live album as James Brown at the Apollo in 1963. I tried listening to it today. It didn't go well for me, but they said the radio stations would play the whole first side in a row on radio stations that played that. And someone else had #5. They had B.B. King from 1965. But anyway.
And then for Michael, your prog rock, you got your Dream Theater. I would throw in there Rush 30.
Okay.
And Yes Songs is another big one. Now, I'm not... Rush, I could listen to the whole thing. I don't know, I'm a big fan about Yes, but I remember family members that were so into it, and Yes Songs was constantly playing, so I'm sure that's a big hit for Michael, too.
Got it. And then for me, in doing all this homework, the big absence for me is that Van Halen with David Lee Roth never put out a live album.
Ever.
And there's stuff coming out for footage from 78, from 80, 81 of them. You can go on YouTube and you can see some footage that has finally come around of them playing.
Is it good?
It's actually good.
All right.
It looks
remember,
like
I didn't see them until Dave was way past his prime.
But maybe there's a reason they didn't do a live album. But anyway, just notably absent in the rock world.
So I remember when we started this, 5150 Live Without a Net was something I was thinking about, but it was really just a video. But that's, that was amazing. It was the first time, you heard Eddie Van Halen's very long solo. He does kind of the same thing over the years, but it's just like 20 minutes of insanity of all the different songs and all the different solos he does. First time that was kind of in print.
Yes.
So, excellent.
Yeah. All right, we did it. We did it in 7 minutes.
Oh, man.
Whatever you're doing today, I hope it involves music. It's live music. Tell us in the comments below your favorite live albums. We want to hear it. And were you at the show? Were you at the show? If you were at the show that you loved the live album, you get bonus points for that. So have a good one. You take us out.
Yeah.
And as usual, we'll catch you on the flip side.
I always get this wrong. I don't know what's so hard.
Seriously, did not notice it. I didn't.
Do you drive at night with those eyes?
I do, unfortunately.
Okay. That's all good. That could have been a major catastrophe.
Could have, should have.
100%. All right, well, I got all sorts of good stuff. I'm so excited.
I see lots of props.
Yes. Can I wear these? These are great.
Those are great.
Oh, yeah. This looks like...
Do they work? Are they connected?
Huh? Well, there's no lenses in them or anything like that. Just like a...
Yeah. No, I didn't know
protection.
If it was... Yeah. Right.
Okay.
All right.
Me.
Ready?
I'm ready. I was born ready. We'll do the best we can here. What? Sorry.